You should. Yay, streams. Yay, streams. But yeah, guys, one of the things that, so for today, if you guys have seen the title of the stream, and if you guys have seen some of the different tweets that I've been sending out, today we're going to be talking on our positivity talk about taking negativity and making it into a positive thing. Okay, so this suggestion actually, oddly enough, came from an interaction that I had, and I'll go a little bit into that. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Jay for coming up with the idea of having this be more of like a face to face conversation as opposed to me trying to play video games. I watched that my last positivity talk, and I think that this will make this just a little bit more interactive, a little bit better for communication, because I know I get super sidetracked. I don't know if you noticed that, but I get really into games sometimes, and all of a sudden I'm just like, ooh, squirrel. And, I'll just go off on my own thing. I'm just really, so I definitely want to acknowledge that. So thank you, Jay, for that suggestion. But so, again, too, thank you all so much for coming out. It really does, make me, it gives me joy that you guys are here. And it's a way that I really want to give back to everybody. And, what I want with these talks is really just something to where you can either share them or go back and watch them on Twitch or YouTube. And if you're watching these right now on any one of those platforms, come on and join us on Tuesdays. We want to be able to hear from you. We want you guys here. We want you to be part of the community if you want to talk about positivity, and that's what we do on Tuesdays. So we're going to be doing that for, I have some different topics that are going to be going on for quite some time. And we've already got a lot of feedback from it, which is awesome. And even some people who are contributing that I'm actually going to be quoting here today. So, but yeah, so one thing that I want to talk about also, if you guys have questions, so if you have things like statements or things that you want to bring up, either it whenever you guys send out the message, either at me, so at Rufio, or send me a whisper. Either way, that way I can go back and easily scroll and kind of see what's going on, because I want this to be more of like a discussion for everything that's in there, because I want to be able to bring up things that maybe I didn't think of, and the only way that I won't think of them is if you all will. So, but I am going to be giving you guys just a little bit of information and some different tips and tricks, and some different psychology backgrounds in it, and also some personal stories, as well as some things that I've actually helped counsel some other individuals on that I've seen a few different times as a recurring action. So it's going to be rooted in knowledge, but also I want it to be something that's a little bit more practical, as opposed to just something that's so, abstract, so that you guys are just like, okay, well, that was, that's great that he talked about this, but it didn't really give me a whole lot. So, and parents are weird. That's the truth. And Katie's dad is amazing, by the way. Actually, that's who I'm going to be quoting a little bit later on. I'll tell you whenever that comes up. But so a little bit as far as for negativity and make it into a positive thing, right? So this whole like negativity versus positivity is often the easiest way that you can look at that is like the glass half full mentality, right? So like if this La Croix right here is halfway full or halfway empty, how do you look at that, right? So is it half full or half empty? And they say, and everybody's heard this one, that if you say that it's half full, you're supposed to be an optimist, you're supposed to be positive, and if you say that it's half empty, you're supposed to be negative. Fun fact, whenever they asked me that in grade school, I apparently answered with a question on, well, is someone pouring it in or are they drinking it out? And you should have seen the look that my guidance counselor gave me. She was just kind of like, no, but is it half full or half empty? And I was like, I need more information. So leave it up to me to make something as easy as that to be complicated, right? So in some things we've had some, I'm not surprised you asked if you're right, Jay. That's what you say too, Camo? Dude, we are brothers from another mother, Camo. I'm telling you. Hashtag need more info. That's right. I always need more info. But so, now I want to acknowledge first that there is space in life for both of these things. Okay. You actually need this. Like whenever you're growing up, and actually what helped us to survive to begin with, you have to give credit to like negativity, because basically, have you guys ever heard of like the fight or flight or freeze mentality? So like these are you have to have this kind of negative thinking to be able to survive in the wild, right? You have to be thinking of things that might happen that are bad. Like, hey, this animal might eat me. This is not a good thing to be. Or if I don't eat right, I need to kill something right now, or else I will die by starvation, right? So you need to have these. In the past, to be able to survive, we took the reason why you're taking this negative thing and turning into a positive and looking at it that way is because you took positive action. Okay? I want to acknowledge it though, that you still need that fight or flight freeze. That still happened. That's an immediate instance, right? Now, the one thing that I want to bring up though is that in long-term emotions are adaptive for the long haul and are rooted in positivity. Okay? My answer is there's a half a glass period. That's awesome. That's great. I hope that's Camo and Katie. Those are awesome. So whenever you take positive action of these negative, like these negative emotions that you have, you're turning it effectively into a positive emotion over the long haul. So what I mean by that, so are we your guinea pigs for a work thing? Oh no, Jay. No. You were for about 5 years, and then now I'm at a job where I actually have a lot more control and have a lot of fun still too. So no guinea pigs, man. This is purely just something that I wholeheartedly believe in, and I want to. If I can give someone a brighter day, even if it's just they sit there and they laugh about what I'm doing, that's my goal, and I want to bring that positivity to every single person. So at my place of work, whoa, I definitely don't want to say that. Like I still like that place. It's just some people had a little bit of a disagreement, but so again, with those positive emotions over the long haul. So what I mean by that is, Dr. Fredrickson. So I referenced her in the last talk. So Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, she talks about micro moments of positivity, fostering positive emotions that can result over time to greater well-being. Okay? Let me kind of break that down. Basically, what she's talking about is it's like your daily vitamin. If you take your daily vitamin, okay, you're going to sit here and keep taking those things, and you are basically making yourself healthier for the long haul, right? Like, you're not going to see an immediate thing whenever you take your vitamin. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to be you all of a sudden going to, kind of go, and you're like a robot that all of a sudden got a brand new battery, right? Like, these are things that are going to keep you healthy for the long haul. And so what Dr. Barbara Fredrickson talks about is that positivity is actually just like that. It's something that whenever you make those regular deposits, your overall well-being is going to keep increasing over time. And I couldn't agree with her more on the fact that whenever you do these positive things, whenever you keep positivity in your life, whenever you pay it forward, whenever you have it in your head, whenever you keep thinking about it, these are things that, while they'll give you different shots of that every now and again, you're less stressed, you're happier, you're wanting to help others more, you have this air about you that people will sometimes ask, like, well, what's different about you? And I can tell you it's simply just because you have that mindset, and it's good for your health, it's good for your heart, it's good for your brain, you can think clearer. And again, we'll talk about the health benefits in another topic, but these things are something that are for the long haul. But I also want to acknowledge that negative things, so again, like what we're talking about, taking negativity, make it into a positive. Negative approaches at the beginning, you can take and make into something positive by taking positive action on it. So now again, naturally there are instances in life where negativity will be shown in your life. So whenever I'm talking about this, so taking negativity, right, make it into a positive, you can look at these things, and these are a lot of the times what's going to come up. Also, by the way, I love the fact that Ruckus just talked about self-identifying as a guinea pig. That's really funny. We had another gas leak and called in the hot firefighters, so negative to positive. Nice, Jay. Yes, that right there is for all the for anybody who wants some eye candy, right? That right there is straight up negativity, a negative thing, positivity, right? I mean, it can create jobs. That is a very good That's a very good example, Jay. This destruction that happened, and you know what? Because of this destruction and this thing that could have happened, people have jobs. You got to meet really, really apparently 2 out of 3 good-looking individuals, which isn't bad. There was a vote. So negative things. It's about time that men got oogled. That's great. But yeah, so there's something that's going on where negativity is going to be pushed on you regardless if you want it or not, right? And so that fire, that's one of the 5 that now these 5 aren't like all encompassing by any stretch of the imagination, but these are the 5 most common, right? So these are a knowledge gap. Okay? Whenever negativity is being pushed on you, and something that I can easily talk about this is streaming, for example, right? Some people who are a little bit older, or maybe that don't know what Twitch is, they may not know what it is and think, you're playing video games? Like, what are you doing? What do you mean you're doing these things and people are coming in here and hanging out? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Go out to a park or something, right? That's just a knowledge gap. Like, whenever someone first asked me about streaming, and it was one of my relatives who, clearly just didn't get it, I explained it like, I didn't need to really defend myself by any means, but I'm like, Twitch will eventually become something that's just as big, or if not bigger than YouTube. I would argue that point with anybody, because Twitch is slowly making progress. And just think about it. The thing that made YouTube so great is the fact that, that's a whole different subject. Never mind. But so, like, whenever I explain that knowledge gap, they just don't realize it, right? It's just ignorance. And it's not, a lot of the times you're going to need what I like to call grace and respect in these type of instances, right? You're going to need grace and respect. The more amounts that you have of both, the better the turning the negative into a positive is going to be. So with the knowledge gap, that's a pretty straightforward, like, bam to bam, right? So whenever someone approaches you with some sort of negativity and it's a knowledge gap, just say, hey, well, for your information, here's exactly what it is. So you just sit there and say, hey, okay, well, this isn't exactly what it is. But, Shadow, the man who likes me.
Grace and respect.
Grace and respect is right. Thank you for the biddies, my dude. I'm so excited for that. And yes, the problem is I like being oogled. We can't all be that really, really ridiculously good looking as you and Ruckus. I mean, that beard and that face from you two is just something that is fierce. It's like I'm trying to be both of you, but failing in both areas. So I don't identify as a guinea pig. I identify as a bee. A boo. Nice. My face is just, man, blue steel all the way. That's right. But yeah, so but the beard's where it's at. The beard plays, people. So there's that knowledge gap, and that's a pretty easy one to be able to switch over to, right? So you give them grace about the fact that they don't know something, and then the respect that you have for them to be able to have that relationship and say, hey, you know what, you're wrong. Let me tell you why. Or even just, lovingly kind of tell them why that is. The second one is a loving concern. Okay? A loving concern. So let me tell you. So what do you say whenever someone says, hey, I'm thinking about starting my own business? Or, hey, I'm going to try something out that people normally fail at, right? A lot of the times, the people who come up to you, they're saying, hey, I don't think that you should do this, or I don't think this is going to work, or, man, have you thought about this? A lot of those things, people have a tendency to come off as like, hey, you're doing this thing wrong, whenever really it's just loving concern. And so a lot of the times, I'll save my biddies for post talk. All right, no problem, Shadow. Dude, that's awesome. I'm a cars person. Yeah, geez, how dare you? I say, cool, what's your business model? Nice, dude. But yeah, it's just a loving concern that people are coming at you with that. So it's something that they want to be able to have the best for you. It's just that sometimes they don't know how to express that. And so they express it in the concerns that they have, and they push that on you. Like a lot of times, whenever you notice someone who is saying things at you, and hasn't really learned from what, hasn't asked you questions about it, like, hey, I'm going to do this, and then they immediately say something like, oh, I wouldn't do that, like, and didn't ask you questions to begin with, that's them stating their own fears. And it's nothing from you. That's actually a sign of love, that what they're saying for it. So you actually need to take that again with grace and respect and say, hey, like, I appreciate the fact that you want to love me, but I got this. Like, trust me, it's gonna be all right. I say, okay, yeah, right, Katie. Like, sometimes you're just like, okay, I think that approach is, if you recognize it, that's gonna be good. If you can recognize these different ones in here, that's the first step. The next one is just a general disagreement, and that's perfectly fine. Let me give you guys an example. So a general disagreement, right? By definition, there are two types of general disagreement. There is combative disagreement, and there's conflict. So conflicting agreement. Okay, combat, by definition, is one, and I brought this up last time, is basically one force trying to overtake the other. There can only be one winner. Conflict, by definition, is two opposing forces coming closer together. Okay? You are literally closer with another human being if you have conflict with them, if you have disagreement. And this, my friends, is where grace and respect again need to come into play. If you give those to someone else and you respect them for their opinion, even if it's different than what yours is, I can tell you are going to find yourself on a winning battle on positive love for one another, way deeper out of an emotional state than any one of your friends. If you can have conflict with somebody and still love them, that, my friends, is winning. Okay, that right there is straight up taking a negative portion, right, that so many people get wrong, and they can turn towards more negativity, like a disagreement that's, right there, and then making that, boom, into a positive. Gretner says, well, now we have to fight. I mean, that's what it is, isn't it, buddy? I mean, that's exactly what it is. By the way, welcome to the stream, man. Happy to have you. So there's that general disagreement. And now the other one that's on there is an unfortunate one, but that's someone trying to literally specifically be hurtful to you. And you have to address this, right? Because there are people out there. There are people who, in the words of Batman, there are some people out there who just want to watch the world burn. There just is. And that's why I want to talk about positivity, because those people need that. Like, you need that. And so whenever you have someone that's trying to be hurtful towards you, like think about this, people. Let me open this for discussion. Whenever you're trying to be hurtful to somebody, think about a time where someone was either sending out positive vibes to somebody, and think about someone who is sending out negative vibes to other people. Now remember, this is positive versus negative. This isn't like, like joking around with each other, like we're like Grunner. Like I love the fact that he just said, Ruckus, we need to fight. that's awesome. But like, do you guys want to hang out with those people? Like, is that something that you want to do? I mean, think about it. Think about a time in your life right now. I'm thinking about a time where, like high school was somewhat difficult for me, somewhat not in different areas. But the thing that I was very, very thankful for was that I tried to be with people who were had a generally good disposition about them, as opposed to other individuals who always were talking about people behind their backs, people who were just mean to other people. And so whenever those situations are there, guys, sometimes whenever you look at that and these people are just trying to be hurtful, do you need them in your lives? I'm going to answer this for you. No, you don't. You don't need that kind of negativity. There are too many people in this world who want to be able to be your friend and to be helpful and to be part of your life, that you don't need that kind of crap. I mean, just truthfully. And whenever that things happen, that's taking something that's super negative and someone trying to bring you down, and boom, you move it over and you make it something positive to where you can be with others and you can live a more fulfilling life because you have more time now that you're not with this person and now you're with these people. So, No one can be closer than you and I, and if I have to fight you to make it happen, so be it. Oh, Katie, what's the funniest picture? No, why would I want to hang out with Ruckus? That's right, take my tentacle. The answer is no, I got it right. Nice, Ruckus. Nice job, man. Good job. And the final one that's on there of the 5 different categories is honestly stuff that is out of your control, that is just completely random. These are things like, unfortunately, that we have to talk about them, but they're a reality in the world. Terminal illnesses, right? Accidents. It's not fair that all right, so this one's gonna get me a little bit because my uncle's really, really close to me. But it is not fair that my uncle, right, who decided to enlist into the Army, become a helicopter pilot, and then because of him sacrificing 20 years of his life, he was ordered to carry a toxic chemical by people who did not do any research on it, and that was his orders, and now he has cancer, right? Not his fault. That is something that is completely random, and that is crap. He was just doing something that he was trying to save all of us to be able to have freedoms, right? So, because of that, taking that negative into a positive, some of those things that are out of your control, the thing that you can have with these, right, the things that are out of your control, 1, recognizing it so that you don't sit there and stew about it, but 2, taking the attitude of being positive and doing things that you can control about it, that's turning negativity into a positive thing, okay? Because of that, I go and I fish with him more often. I get to spend more time with him, because sometimes whenever things just randomly happen, you may not have that, right? I didn't have that choice. If I had the choice, I'd take that away in a second. I don't care what the cost was, but I don't want that, right? I don't want that for his life, because that's eventually is going to be what takes him. And to be able to see that, like, I want to do everything that I can to be able to make his life better while I'm here. And so that's taking a negative process and turning it into a positive. So does that make sense, guys? So to kind of go along that track, so like positive things you can take from, like negativity, like what I was just talking about, taking responsibility. Okay. Whenever something happens, dissect the problem and saying, I did this, right? So this is the section of the things that I did, and these things over here are out of my control, right? So whenever you do that, you're going to end up not stewing about it for a whole lot longer. So you're not going to dwell on it, which is huge. But you're also not going to make mountains out of molehills. You're not going to sit there and like have the woe is me type mentality, because whenever you take responsibility for things, you can change them, right? One of the things that I think about is, I was at a bar, and whenever I went there, I just sat down. I was supposed to be meeting up with a couple friends, and some people did not like the fact that I was there. And so it was a little bit of a rougher bar, and so they kindly asked me to leave, and I got up and left. And so at that point, I can't really control what happened to me, right? Like, did that suck? Yeah, it did. It didn't feel welcome. I felt like I was honestly going to get my butt kicked. And so the one thing that I can control is I just won't go back there. Done and over with. Boom. Over. See ya. Deuces. Wait, where was this? So this was back in my college days, Jay. This one right here was a good old time where I went to a bar that apparently was a little bit reserved for, let's just say not. I did not have the clout, I guess, for that to be in there. So just as a heads up. But so taking responsibility for this is going to be able to help you all really dissect the problem. And whenever that starts happening, you start getting a better picture of things that are like, well, I can't control this, so it doesn't matter. Like, that's going to reduce that amount of negativity, and you can take your positivity and use it in a good sense. So the second one is after you do that, learn from it. Take stock in what you've done. Like, if you don't ever learn anything, like, you're never going to be able to move forward with it. If you don't take the time to sit there and dissect, like, oh, right, this is my responsibility, how can I learn from it and move forward? Then you're never, like, what are you doing? Like if you're not growing as a person, you like you're always, if you always do what you've always done, you're always gonna get what you've always got. Okay, fun one. That one's from JFK. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Okay, you will never change. And so you may think that that's comfortable, but if you do that, the world's gonna keep changing. It's your choice whether you want to keep up with it or not. So learn from it. Celebrate successes, okay? So many people, evidently Jay and I were the same person before I even knew her. Wait, what the? And so whenever you sit there and you celebrate successes, you need to do that, because if you don't do that, you're gonna start getting beat up. Like if you don't reinforce that good behavior, you need that type of reinforcement. You need something to be able to keep you going, because if you don't ever celebrate that, then like, what's kind of the point? You know, like you can sit there and do all this activity, but if your brain doesn't see that as a positive thing, right? Because you have these choices, and while you can feel good about it and everything else, if you don't celebrate some of those, like I just did this really awesome thing. Like I think that each one of you should be super proud of the fact that you guys are such awesome people. And you guys should celebrate yourselves. Like, dead serious. You should love well, I say you should love yourself, but that could come off a little bit weird, especially if KB's in here, because he always makes it into a dirty joke. But seriously, like, celebrate yourselves. Do something for you. Treat yourself, girl. Treat yourself. But another one that you can do is finding an outlet. So, Discord not working the invite. I would love to talk to you. Rust server leaker, I would definitely love to talk with you too, man. Shoot me if you want to, go ahead and shoot me a direct message, whisper in here in Twitch, and I'll definitely get that going. So, would love to talk to you. And so, that's my job. Yes, it is, KV. What's going on? I like 21 Pilots. Welcome back, man. But yeah, would love to talk to you, Russ. So whenever you're talking about those, finding an outlet, like, what's everybody's outlet here? How do I do that? So what you can do is you can click on my name, and then you can just click whisper. Here, I'll even I'll shoot you one real quick while I'm doing it. But while I'm doing that, think about this, guys. What are some different outlets that you have? Like for me, one of my outlets that I do for positivity is play video games, right? Or it's maybe golf. Or like what are some of your guys' releases? Like what do you need to do to be able to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go have a picnic. Or what am I gonna be like what is that? Tell me what that is. I'd like to hear from you guys. Like seriously, I want to know a little bit more about the community that's in here. And then, Russ, I should have just got you a little whisper right there. So if you just want to reply to that in like the little whisper tab that's underneath, I'll get you that one. So we can go ahead and do that. So Silverhouse says smoking weed. Well, you know what? I'm definitely not gonna judge that one. Like, shoot, it's legal in a lot of different places, right? And that's something to where, obviously some people have different feelings about that, but you know what? I am indifferent to it. One of those things where it's like, well, whatever. Like if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, right? Like, I like to talk to friends as an outlet and play video games. See, that's awesome, Katie. Get the peppers. 2 things, what? Don't use 5. Katie agrees. Hashtag you do you. Apparently 5 is what you need. 5 is in there. So, but I like 21 Pilot says, I'm not a positive person. Well, 21, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now. Being positive, you can become a positive person. But that's always your choice, right? That's your right as a human being. You can choose whatever you want to do. Like, I want you to have the best you that you want to be. Like, if you are like, nope, I don't want to do these things, then that's fine. That's up to you. My goal in being able to talk about this positivity and what you can do is being able to say, hey, you have a choice. And these are some things that you can do to be positive if you choose to be. But if that's what you want to be, man, that's what you want to be. I love everybody for it. So, but yeah, so doing different things like being as friends, as an outlet, playing video games, doing all the things, as Jay says, pet the puppies, doing all that awesome things. But what's going on, AZ Rockslide? How are you, man? Welcome back to the stream. I'm known as the most depressed person in my school. Well, 21 Pilots, if there's something that you want to talk about, man, I'd love to talk to you about it. But yeah, and that's something to where, like, I also want to acknowledge that sometimes people are coming from all walks of life through here, right? Like, there's a lot of different things that are going on there. And sometimes stuff is hard. Stuff is tough. Life is never guaranteed to be easy, right? Nobody ever guaranteed us that. And so I would definitely want to acknowledge all those people who are out there watching this and saying, hey, well, you know, I've had all these different negative things happen, and I'm just having a really tough time being positive. Like, I respect you for having that, and I want you to know that, like, you have every right to have that. I just hope that through this, I can make your life a little bit better and make you smile a little bit more. So, but being depressed and being negative, woo, that's what I'm talking about now. That's what I'm talking about now. Rust Server Leaker with the follow. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Neverland, where we're trying to make dreams come true. Appreciate it. But yeah, so being depressed and being negative is different things. That is true. And you can defeat depression. That is also true, Katie. Both of those. And so those different spots that are in there, like positivity is one of those ways that you can beat those. Like that's what's awesome about it. So good on both of you for bringing that up. And I also like to Dog J Choda, what's going on, man? Welcome. Let me get it. You love a Rufio. Oh, dude, I'd love that. Grumps quote works here too. Game Grumps, I'd love to see that. KB, go ahead and throw that in there. So in that, one thing that here are some different things that you can do to be able to increase your positivity from negativity. So I like to see streamer and user voice communication on the stream. Streamer and viewer, I mean. So Russ, just as a heads up, as far as for anybody talking on there, since I only let people who I've known for a long time, kind of like what Jay said, go on stream that I've known for a while, just because I've definitely been burned a couple times where people got on here and then said things that I just don't feel like that needs to be spread around. So, but I'd love to talk to you just one-on-one if you'd like to through Discord. I'd love to do that. So, if that makes sense, Russ, but I definitely want to hear your opinion though, and anybody's opinion on here. So, but I always like to end it with giving you guys just some concrete things that you can do to be able to increase your positivity, right? And so for this talk, it's taking negativity and turning into a positive thing, right? So I'm gonna give you 4 things on here, and then we're gonna end up with kind of like just if you had to take one tidbit from this entire thing, what is it? Okay, 1, don't dwell on it. Okay, it takes 30 seconds for a thought to enter deeper consciousness. Okay, it happened. Move on. Don't worry. And here is where Katie Reed's dad is coming into play. I can do contortion. I like freaking people out. That's pretty awesome. 21. Get exercise. That's right, AZ Rockside. That is a great example. Exercise. Thank you for bringing that up. That's in there. I'll get to that one. We'll circle back on that one. But it happened. Move on. Don't dwell on it. Kind of assess the situation of what it is. See what it is, like I was talking about. Learn from it. Take responsibility. And don't worry. Okay? Here's some things that I got to give a shout out to Katie's dad that in one of his speeches he talks about. Worry is interest paid on trouble before it's due. Okay? Worry is interest paid on trouble before it's due. Another one that talks about worry that I really love those is worry is wasting today's time to clutter up tomorrow's opportunities with yesterday's troubles. Okay? Whenever I heard that from my dad, my mind got blown in there. Let me repeat that. Worry is wasting today's time to clutter up tomorrow's opportunities with yesterday's troubles. Okay? How crazy is that? That's a great way to look at things. So, just don't dwell on it. Do something that's gonna get you out there, right? So whenever you do it, if you need to go find an outlet like what AZ was talking about, if we're talking about, what you can do, AZ Rock Slide right there, exercise. Seriously, I know it sounds trite, but getting exercise can really help you a more positive outlook. It has to do with chemical reaction in your body. That is true. So, fun fact, whenever you exercise, you release endorphins, norepinephrine, you release, you can actually release what's tension in your body to be able to start getting your mind clear and everything else. So AZ Rock Slide like that right there. Good on you, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I promise it's good. No troll, KB. No, dude, I don't want to kill chat. But I'll definitely look at it, KB. Read it out loud. Where are you at, KB? Because I don't have a message from you, a direct message from you. Did you put that in there? But but yeah, so I have kind of a secret password. I wanted to challenge it. Well, that's awesome, dog. Yeah, if that's doing, and that could be that could be exactly what we're talking about today. I was watching this Interest TEDx talk where it pretty much goes in detail about how being around negativity tends to make you more negative. It's really interesting. See, so exactly, like right there, again, that goes to that point of who are you hanging around? Like your influences and what you have on the outside are coming and hitting you on it. So don't dwell in it. Like if you're around negative people, if you don't want to dwell on it, don't dwell on it. Like, and dwelling you can also have by being around negative people, right? And you can turn that into a positive by either introducing positive to the situation, or if it's something where like they're actually just being negative to be hurtful, like you don't, truth be told, you probably don't need that in your life. But yeah, quack attack. Oh, okay. Freedom of speech isn't free. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. To truly understand freedom, we must break down the word into its two roots. So need to be free. Is that? Oh wait, that isn't at the deal. That's a wrong one. KB, I don't know where your deal is. I can't find it, brother. I tried to look it there, but you cannot control what happened in the past. You can only control what you happen in the future. Exactly, AZ. Exactly, brother. Get some help instead. Yep. You can only control how you can react to them. That's true, AZ. Life is 80% of what happens, or 80% of how you react to things, and only 20% of what happens to you. Doe. He posted in your Discord. Let me check that out. So here's something that KB said, so I want to read this out loud before I keep on going on this. But an old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he said to the boy. It is a terrible fight and is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. Boom! Knowledge being dropped on you by KB. And some old Cherokee wisdom, which I do appreciate because I do have quite a bit of Cherokee in me. So I appreciate that big time. So thank you, KB. So yeah. But yeah, man, that's stinking awesome. So, guys, I'm trying my best to be able to keep up with chat, but also keep the conversation going. So I'm doing my best. So I apologize if that's if I'm trying to keep up and everything, and I'm not getting right to your stories right now, but I'm doing my best. So I apologize if I haven't got to your statement yet, real quick. But the second one, while we're kind of keeping it going, is take time to focus on a positive element and practice mindfulness. Okay, mindfulness is the act of focusing on awareness of the present moment. So you need to focus on what's happening on right now, right? So like whenever I was talking about worry about wasting today's time to clutter up tomorrow's opportunities with yesterday's troubles, okay, don't should on yourself, okay? Let me repeat that because you may have just heard me wrong. Don't should on yourself, okay? Don't should on the bed. What I mean by that is because you don't be sitting here thinking like, I should be the perfect person. I should do this, or like, man, like, you know, like I should have done that. Like, learn from it, take what it is, and then go. Take time to focus on a positive element and practice mindfulness, doing something that's here and now and matters. So do that. And then Dog Daytona on here. I'm sorry, I just read that, buddy, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So why I do charity and volunteer stuff is because, and thank you for being so open about this, man. Like that's good on you. And it's his way of fighting depression over the past few years, and it's made a big impact. Well, Dog, I'm just really happy that you're part. I'm really happy that I got to know you, man. Like, good on you for fighting that and taking something like that and bringing it forward, right? And that's one of the things that I talked about in the last positivity talk is whenever you spend it on others, you actually will bring yourself into a level of happiness that's greater than if you just spent it on yourself. So good on you, man. Apparently 21 Pilots can bend himself in half, which is amazing. Just throwing it out there because there are kids in here and I don't want them to get the wrong info. Yeah, for sure. But yeah. Oh yeah, thank you for the Discord. I'm sorry, I was going everywhere, right? A lot of stuff happens in the past few weeks. It's been depressing. I've been keeping my head up, yeah. The one you feed is the one who lives. Exactly, AZ. That's great. And then, but yeah, I'm Irish, so that's close. If you're Irish, man, good on you, because that's the other actually part of me. So I'm the two biggest descendants that I have are both Native American and Irish. So those are the two, or Scottish actually technically, but through Ireland. But love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Chad always wins. Chad always does wins. It's a fruit of the spirit. So that's the truth, AZ. That's awesome. 20 pauses go. Oh, I'm sorry, 20. I'm sorry about that. Did I call you sir? I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that. I have for some odd reason. I want to call everybody like friends or anything like that. That's gender neutral, and I apologize about that. But dang it. But so again, take time to focus on a positive element and practice mindfulness. So being in the moment and seeing what you can control, like we talked about earlier. The third one is to practice gratitude. Okay, practice gratitude. There are many different ways that you can practice gratitude. Okay, so this is something that either writing it down in a journal, expressing it to a friend or a loved one. The reason why I say practice gratitude is this: there are a lot of bad things that are going to happen to you in your life. I am not going to sugarcoat that for anybody's life. There's a lot of bad things that are going to happen, right? You're going to have losses. You're going to have things happen to you that don't make sense. You're going to have these crazy things come up in your life that you cannot control, right? That you cannot control. There are so many things that are going to happen to you. But if you practice gratitude and taking stock in a hardship, right? And you're taking something away from that and being grateful for it. I think about my grandfather, and I am so very, like, in losing him, he was my male role model because I was raised by a single mom. He was my role model for the better part of my life. And whenever I lost him, I was devastated. I went into a spiral that was just not good for life. And I worried a lot. I worried about what people thought of me. I worried about, I could honestly probably even relate a little bit more to Dog about being close to being in a state of depression, truthfully. So that's something to where the thing that got me out of that is looking back and being thankful and practicing gratitude and being grateful of the time that I got to spend with him, about the things that he taught me and about the experiences that we had, and not dwelling on something that I can't control. Like, I'm sorry, people die, right? Like, that sucks. But you can look at it as being something that's positive and taking that and putting that in there. So, you woman hater, Jay. Oh, geez. Well, I'm grateful for women, Jay, and I apologize to 21, and I'm very grateful, and I hope that she gives me some grace in the fact that I didn't do that very well. So, misplained it to him, Jay. True fan. Oh no, true fan. Banana milk and monkey bread. Nice, Jay. Oh, what's going on? Good for gaming. What's going on? And Shadow's still in here. But yeah, guys, so practice gratitude. That's in there. And the last one is, so I really like that idea of taking micro moments of positivity. So guys, let me ask you this. And so this is the last one that I kind of want to do together. And you can either put it in chat or not. Like, sometimes I know people aren't always as open as what they like to be, but what low-hanging fruit in your life, as far as for micro moments, can you accomplish in your everyday life? And whenever I say low-hanging fruit, what I mean by that is something that is easy and tangible right now, like in the immediate future. Okay? So focus on doing these micro moments and keep feeding yourself that vitamin, right? And give yourself some grace and respect. So think about it, guys. Like, what kind of things can you do in your life right now? Either put it in chat, talk about it. Like, what's something that you guys can do to make it a better life for yourself? Think about it, okay? Because, like take, for instance, AZ Rockslide right there, talking about he's loved to go and work out. That is something that is a low-hanging fruit. Now, I will say that that's difficult for a lot of people, but maybe for AZ, it's like, hey, yeah, I can go and do this. And that's awesome. Like, he's taking taking that and moving forward and doing something that's positive and doing that constant thing into his brain where he's basically enabling himself to make it easier to say yes to positivity and harder to say no. So yeah, I just want to give that as an example. So, but can you rephrase the question? Yes. So, also KB says, always remember, if you do need professional help, don't hesitate to reach out for it. Some things you can't handle yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Everyone needs it sometimes. KB, thank you for putting that in there. I really appreciate that. That was going to be one of my disclaimers that was underneath everything, but I'm glad that you brought it up. So you just did it anyway, and you put it in chat, and I couldn't be more appreciative of that. That's really awesome. Thank you for that. And that is the truth, people, because sometimes that's a hard thing to go through. And a lot of times people just don't get it. And they really want to help you, but they don't know how. But again, so rephrase the question. I just mean don't use low-hanging fruit. I gotcha. I'm with you now, Jay. Funny. Study quick. Freaking people out is my life. So like whenever you think about it, whenever you think about that, what is something that is small, tangible, and something that you can do either today, right now, in a minute? Take some time and go and do that. Whether that's doing something for someone else, saying that how much you appreciate somebody, whether that's going and telling a loved one that you love them, whether that's reading a book that you enjoy, whether that's looking at a situation that maybe has been bugging you, sitting down and just writing through it about saying, these are the things that I can control, these are the things that I can't, and this is how I'm going to do it better. Like maybe because everybody has those. I know that everybody, like, I can't be the only one that's in here that thinks that, but yeah, think about that. Like that's something that you just need to do, and just take a moment and give some grace and respect to someone else, to yourself, to this world. And that, my friends, is Positivity Tuesday. So guys, thank you so much for coming out. That's just a little bit of it, but I love to keep the